Hello and welcome back to a new video on my channel. Recently there are perfect conditions for doing astrophotography, so the last 2 days they were always clear skies, there was no full moon, there were no clouds, so I've been doing astrophotography for the past few days. And tonight there is another chance of doing astrophotography. So tonight there will be no moon too, and there will be perfect conditions for doing astrophotography. The last 2 days I used the Canon EOS 450D and I captured images of the Orion constellation without a tracking mount. But tonight I would like to use my bigger setup, so it's not my big setup for astrophotography. So this is my wide field setup for astrophotography. So tonight I would like to use this setup for capturing one of my best images of the Pleiades star cluster. So I've captured the Pleiades star cluster with this exact same setup in December last year, but unfortunately there were a few challenges. So ice and dew formed on my lens, and therefore I was not able to collect a lot of exposure time. Perhaps you have already seen this video. So right now you can see the image that I've captured last year in December with this exact same setup. As I have already mentioned, ice and dew formed on my lens, and therefore I was not able to collect a lot of exposure time. And as you can see, the noise of the camera is quite noticeable, and unfortunately you can't see a lot of details. Therefore I've decided to capture the exact same object once again tonight with the exact same setup. So this is the plan for tonight. But before we start, I would like to mention that this video is not sponsored and I'm not being paid for it, and all products shown in this video were purchased by myself. As you can see, the mount I'm using is the HDQ5 Pro Go-To mount. So this is the mount that I'm always using for astrophotography. In this case, it's a bit too big for this entire setup, but that's definitely not a problem. So as you can see, I've attached the hand controller to this setup. So I would like to control the entire mount with this hand controller tonight. Usually I'm using the CWO ASI Air Pro. So this is an Astro computer that I'm always using for controlling the entire deep sky astrophotography setup, but tonight there are only a few hours of total clear skies, and therefore I would like to use this hand controller in order to keep this setup simple. On the top I've attached my camera, so it's the exact same camera that I've used last time. So it's Canon EOS 600D. It's a great camera because it's quite affordable, and something I really like is that this camera does have a flip screen, which is very helpful for astrophotography. Furthermore, I've attached a lens to this entire setup, which will be the Canon 75 to 300mm lens. This is the same lens I've used last time. So for tonight I would like to use a focal length of 135mm. Furthermore, I've attached a remote shutter release cable to this setup, which helps me to control the camera all night long. And furthermore, I've attached my dew heater to that setup in order to not get dew and ice on my lens. Last time I've used this dew heater as well, but unfortunately ice and dew formed on my lens. So I really hope that I will not have this problem tonight. Later on I would like to use an exposure time of approximately 3 minutes, an ISO value of 1600 and an aperture of f5.0. So tonight I will have around 4 hours of total clear skies, which should be enough to create a great image of this object tonight. Later on I would like to set up my Canon EOS 450D in combination with the Tamron 15 to 30mm lens in order to capture a timeless video of my setup tonight. So this is everything I would like to mention so far about this setup. So now we need to wait a few more hours until it's dark enough, and then we can start doing the polar alignment process. Then we can start focusing on the lens, and I really hope that I can improve the image that I've captured last year tonight. In total, I was able to photograph the Pleiades star cluster for over 2 nights. During these 2 nights, I collected a total exposure time of approximately 7 hours and was able to take this picture. I was definitely able to improve the image I took in December. I used a single exposure time of approximately 3 minutes, an ISO value of 1600 and an aperture of f4.5. Due to the aperture of f4.5, the stars don't look so good, especially in the corners. Therefore, I had to crop the image to only use the area of the image where the stars were better. In summary, I really like the picture that I was able to take in these 2 nights. If this video was interesting to you, I would really appreciate a like and a subscription. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Clear skies, Felix.